From my buddy Tony Gasparino saying that people are telling him that the Marco Rubio folks are confident they could end this all for Jeb Bush, that one more poor performance of this debate and Bush is finished and Rubio emerges as sort of the establishment consensus candidate. Maybe a little too early to tell, and if this next fellow is way too early to tell. David Beightol is a big Jeb Bush donor and supporter, and he doesn't see that wavering one bit, right?
I don't. I know that Jeb had a very good week last week in New Hampshire. I think we talked earlier about Scott Brown and the event there.
Right.
And I think it also is nice that he has these people traveling with him that he helped when he was governor of Florida. Get to help tell the story.
Maybe it started with Trump and the you got to show more energy thing, or maybe it was the last debate and being on the shorter end of the tit-for-tat stick with Marco Rubio, but he seems out of sorts. Is he?
Oh, I don't think so. And again, I do have the benefit of watching when he is campaigning, and I pay attention to the videos that they send out. And
I've seen some of that too. And Scott Brown's telling me about this backyard barbecue where he mesmerized a crowd of 300. Why doesn't it happen on a debate stage like the one here?
Well, I think this next debate might be better because I think the format's going to be better. I think it's, from what I've heard, you're going to allow the candidates to talk a little bit more about what they've been able to accomplish. As opposed to some of the he said, she said things that have happened in previous debates.
But if it does get a little heated, the rap against your guy is as much of a gentleman as he is, a highly regarded former governor as he is. He's just not got the fight in him.
Well, I've seen plenty of fight. And, this is a guy who governed a state for 8 years. It's a purple state and left with almost a 70% approval rating. The same guy that also had a Republican legislature and light item vetoed over $2 billion of spending. So he knows how to do tough things, and there's always ups and downs that happen in campaigns or when you're governing. So I'm not worried one iota about Jeb Bush and how tough he is.
Does he have to win Florida?
Oh, I think he will win Florida.
But if he doesn't, is he in trouble?
Oh, I don't know. You have to do well. So, Michigan, there's a lot of states that come in a row there that are significant.
But not all winner take all. I think Florida is, but I've often wondered, and you crunch the numbers, you're also a history guy, so you know history, that could we get to Cleveland without a nominee?
That's a very interesting question. I don't know how that plays out. I do think that the organization that Jeb has built, the voter contacts that he's doing, a lot of people don't understand all the mechanics involved in this. It's like building a big business.
But what I understand of it is that they're frustrated, and that the rank and file have had it with the rank and file. And they seem to be rebelling against establishment candidates, even when they've had a great record. Scott Walker, say what you will, have had a consequential, meaningful record. He's out. Rick Perry, say what you will about, had a consequential job generating better than decade-long record. He's out. What is going on, and how do you explain a Ben Carson phenomenon, a Donald Trump phenomenon? Because they're not, that's not easing up at all.
Yeah, well, I think it has a little bit, and I think you have to look a little bit beyond those national numbers and look deeper about what voters are looking for. And when you look at what they're looking for, executive level leadership, both in the private sector and in government, and you go through all these different scenarios where people really care about when they're going to vote, that's where Jeb will come out ahead, I think.
But are there enough of them?
I think there are. And again, as you cited, I am a history major. In history, I think...
And you're proud to admit it.
Very proud to admit it. University of Wisconsin Badger. I just do think that will play out. It always does. And the other thing about, New Hampshire, 50% of the people normally make up their minds the last week of that election, which is pretty amazing when you think about how...
And that, by the way, is something that Chris Christie is latching himself onto, because he is resonating in these town hall meetings, and that's something that will help him. So it's fluid, to put it on.
It's very fluid, and there's still a lot of retail politics that have to go on. This is very early in the process. Only crazy people like you and I.
You're right about it. What does Governor Bush think about this John Meacham book that's coming out on George Bush Sr., in which Sr. really unloads on Dick Cheney and this whole stewardship of the Iraq War, down to Donald Rumsfeld, and even his sons, that is George W. Bush's axis of evil comments that kind of talk that didn't really help matters any. Do you think Jeb Bush feels that controversy and has to deal with it?
I don't think so. I think the book will show too. Right now the press talks about the conflict part, which makes sense. But I think the book will also show that everybody's different in the family.
Why do you think your dad's coming out and saying all this stuff?
Well, remember that they've known John Meacham for a long time, and he helped them with their literacy foundation and the different chapters.
And a lot of these comments are years old.
They're years old, and these are the things that are being talked about now. But when the entire book is read and people look at it, they're going to see more about what Jeb's about and their relationship with their father and how significant that is.
But you're still firmly behind Jeb Bush. You still think he's going to pull this out?
100%, and I'm betting all my friends.
Wow. All right. That's a Badger bet.
Yes.
All right. David Beightol, thank you very, very much.